Good morning, exchangers, and happy Monday. As you guys know, our proposals were due last night. I'm just waiting on a handful of those, and if you're one of those people, check your email. Maybe we can connect via Zoom or phone call in order to make sure that I have a vision for what this quarter's magazine is going to look like. I think you guys are doing an awesome job. The last handful of times that I've published our Exchangers magazine, I felt like we lost a bit of our freshness, and so I am relieved. I am full of like a positive anxiousness to see what you guys are going to create because your proposals are really good. And thank you for investing. Thank you for making pitches that feel like they have some authenticity behind them, a little bit of passion, concern for the issues that you're tackling, for keeping it fun too. And I'm going to be getting into the proposals space really shortly, ideally today. I'll do my best to start on it today, probably finish it up tomorrow. And I'm going to leave you voice comments on your proposals themselves. And my intention in leaving the voice comments is to give some ideas for what I think you might research, consider, how you might tackle the proposal, etc. If you miss a point on the proposal, it's probably due to missing an element of the assignment. And so I should be able to give you guys an opportunity to fix that if you would like to. So be looking for those comments for the article proposal. I'm trying to prioritize that early because of this week's calendar. So this week, I've mentioned it a few times, but we are rolling in to the short article copy. Now, when you go into the instructions for the short article copy, which is going to be due by Thursday night, it's going to give you really specific requirements. And I want to talk about that in a second, but let me give you the timeline. Short article copy is due to the discussion board by Thursday night. And then by Sunday, you will be replying to each other's short articles. I'm still making a couple of adjustments and improvements to our process. So if something isn't launched right when you view this video, it will be launched by the end of the day today. But this is the big picture. That the instructions for the short article say, what have you done before? In English 101, you've probably written 6-paragraph essays with 3 to 5 sources. Does that sound somewhat familiar? Like maybe about 1,000 words. I thought that I have found that that's a really good step for us to pass through in order to grow the size of article that we are growing here at Exchangers. And so I want you to just put back on that English 101 hat and write the kind of size of article you would have written for that time, which means that you probably already have in your head what all this big article is going to include, but just choose a few of those topics or those subtopics to start tackling in order to sample or experiment with the subject matter. So what I mean by that is try to develop a draft thesis or main point statement. I don't care where that is, where that lives right now in the short article copy. It's just that writing is thinking. It's a way of determining what it really is that we want to say. And so we kind of have to pass through these steps. So I'm hoping you'll use 3 to 5 different sources. I'm hoping that you will show me what you already know about what I call SIP format, which is using signal phrases to introduce sources, like according to the anthology of short stories written by Beverly Lawn, and then you quote, paraphrase, whatever you choose, and then parentheses the page number. I hope you'll practice that skill so that I, as the editor, can kind of see how each of us are with that skill. You're not going to be graded on your execution of that skill. That you'll be graded on completing the short article copy, on using sources. You will be commented on. I will give you comments that say, hey, we should fine tune this, we should adjust that. Oh, that's interesting. What are you doing there? But I'm not going to give you A, B, C based on the quality of your SIP format. So I just want you to put what you have down on paper. do what you think you know how to do. I say that for your sources, it'd be nice if you used at least one from the library databases. That's just because now is a good time to, again, show me what you know. And it's not something that I'm going to grade you up or down for. It's just a really good idea to get in there and find out, is there anything in the databases worth using? It's another way to sort of, the databases don't always produce a scholarly article or an expertise perspective, but they can. So it's a good time to just go see, does anything pop up? Is there anything there for you? And then I say, aim for about that 6-paragraph mark, or write at least 1,000 words. Try to start developing a voice that is passionate and argumentative, maybe creative. Creative looks different for all of us, so tap into your authentic language and your voice. Write this article in a way that only you could write it. So maybe that means including your perspective or a bit of personal testimony, or maybe that's just your attitude. What is your attitude? What's your personality? Get it out on the page. We are living in the era of robot writers, and so the way to stand out for an audience is to be a human being writing an article. Okay, I'm spending a lot of time talking about this, but the reason is that I want to offer an alternative. I want to say that if a 6-paragraph essay with an intro and a body and a conclusion does not come out of you, and you want an alternative, then at the top of your short article copy, just say, please assess me based on word count instead, word and source count instead. And if you say that, I will give you credit for this piece if it comes out like a free write with sources. That could just be literally free-flowing 1,000-word thoughts. It'd be cool if you broke it up a little bit. If it came out more like notes, but it's still aiming to be 1,000 words, as long as you have about 1,000 words on the page that are generative, that show some of the different kinds of ideas and points you might make, I'm fine with letting go of this short article copy assignment as it's defined and saying, you have 1,000 words, you have a lot of ideas for us to respond to, you have about 3 to 5 sources. This is a worthy next step for you. There's one of you already who I've left a voice comment for on the proposal and said, maybe it would be wise to read a source, respond to it. Read a source, respond to it. If you do that for 1,000 words and you have all of these sources and we have ideas to work with and it looks like you're getting close to a thesis statement, that's okay. If you're like, nope, I don't want that weird, ambiguous definition of this assignment, I just want to write a 6-paragraph essay like I've done in my other classes, that's cool too. I'm just trying to open it up a little bit and let you guys maneuver through this stage in a way that fits you. Because I do have specific requirements for how you use a Google Doc, for how you identify with some color coding what they say versus what you are saying. Again, that doesn't have to be perfect either, but I just, these things are there to help you guys have some freedom that fits your process, but also to help me be really efficient with providing deep feedback. So if you do the color coding, if you do the bolding that I require, the highlighting and whatnot, it means that I can move from copy to copy and dive right into the actual meat of what you're saying and provide meaningful feedback. Whereas if you don't do these things, I have to skim the surface level, and you kind of get the point. Now, when you do replies to each other, and this is something that I'm tidying up as well, I used to just have you do, 2 strengths and 2 possible suggestions. But this go around with exchangers, what we're going to do is actually, let's call it 20 questions. You're not asking 20 questions. I won't make you produce that many, I don't think. But the idea is that we want to be generative right now. We want to generate ideas for extra content and clarity and challenges to our ideas and different categories and subpoints that we might dive into as we grow the article. So we're not going to have this pressure of, well, I don't know what to tell them. Instead, we're just going to ask them what questions that we have after we read their article copy. And please be as flexible as I am with each other and receive into the discussion board whatever format your peer writers, your fellow journalists, are inspired to write in at this point in our publication process. This is the moment when we start seeing our magazine come to life, and we really get to start being intrigued by each other's ideas and how things are developing. You guys are neat writers. You have very unique voices already, so please try to maintain those. Don't be robot writers in the era of robot writing. Be a human with a heartbeat, with a story, with a body, with a perspective, with a home, with memories, and with actual hopes and aspirations for the future world that you want to live in, and let it come to bear on the page. And don't be a perfectionist. Just be a splatter painter right now. That's the spirit and the energy that we need in our journalist room today and this week. Okay, reach out if you need me. I mean it when I say I'm excited. I love this class so much, and I'm really looking forward to working with you guys as unique journalists.